We're on now?
It is on now.
Oh, hello. So, oh, yep, and there we are. There we are.
Yeah, that's really strange. I don't know what happened. I switched it. I hit the button. I guess I didn't actually pay attention to see that it actually started. Good thing it was only 30 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't like the best intro we ever did or anything. So,
It's the intro that we're going to use from now on forever.
right? It's like, oh, that was lost. That was gold. Gold, I tell you.
I know, right?
Oh, man. So, what do we got going here? We got Potato Chip Miner. When last we met, we had the claims office was able to sell us a mine claim, right? We had that working, and we were sort of able to, or we were starting to work through being able to apply the mine claim to a digger. I feel like that's where we left off. Does that sound right to you?
I believe so, yeah. Weren't we able to see a list of claims, though?
In the claims office, yeah. Are we missing the command? If you type help, doesn't it just spit out the commands?
Yeah, but that gives us, like, everything. Claims. We don't have it do it by default like we do for the store where it just comes in. Yeah, so we can see our claims. We can buy one.
Yeah, I wonder if we should make it work like it does. Is it an error that came up or just a breakpoint? That's an error. Exception thrown.
Yeah.
Which object? Which object?
It's saying that game state is...
The miner? Wait a minute. Game state is null.
Yeah, that's what it seemed to indicate with this, right? Because it said game state.get returned null.
So did we not...
Well, this would indicate that it's coming from... let's look at
because the command gets passed in, right? So...
Yeah.
So the command... So the command is coming in with a null game state.
Yeah, so this would be it here.
So the game state that gets...
Oh, no. So, wait a minute. There's one more step up from this. Huh. So, let me see. It's in the, in this claims office group here. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, so I guess we actually have to make sure we assign it, which we didn't.
So, okay, so we didn't, when we did that, set the command object. You just have to pass that through.
Yeah, because we changed it. Excuse me. We changed it to a game state command. Since we had changed it to a game state command, we needed to make sure we were passing it in, right? So.
Yeah, that stinking game state again.
Yep.
Someday we'll figure something out with that, John. One of these Wednesdays.
Yeah.
We'll just...
be some future Wednesday. Yeah.
So I would expect that we won't get that error now because that was just a failure to pass it on through.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I don't know why. I can feel the yawns already starting.
Man, we're only 10 minutes in.
I
20
know.
minutes, 10 minutes, yeah, maybe. No, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Started right at 6:30.
It's been a long day. All right, so
Yeah, well, feels like everybody's days are long these days, John.
yeah, they all run together now.
They really do. Interesting times we live in.
So yeah, so we've got the claims office. We can buy a claim. We don't have any way of viewing the claims.
Viewing the claims that you have, like in your bag or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we talked about that too, like how we're going to present them, like if they go into a separate slot, since
yeah.
they don't stack or anything. But
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's fine. I think the question that is on my mind at the moment is, do we make it part of the inventory? So when you do an inventory, you'll just see your stuff and you'll see claims as like a second portion of the inventory.
hmm, what's inventory? Yeah, okay. We don't have
First,
that much stuff, so okay.
yeah. The only reason I was even thinking about it is because I don't know what we would do with another command for it.
Well, if we have, maybe we want another command for it because we may have a fair amount of stuff. We don't
Mm-hmm.
really have scrolling at this point.
Right.
So we have to break our data sets kind of into small pieces.
Okay. So what is the command going to be for that?
Right. All right. So let's think about it. What is it? Is it going to be just claims that we haven't used yet? Probably, right? Because the other ones are going to be attached to a digger, which is also like the active diggers is its own separate area, so to
Right.
speak. So,
Well, I mean, is it? I mean, would we want to show that a claim is actively being used?
we might. That's that, right? That's what I'm saying. Let's think it through. So, why would we want to see? What would be the reason that we would want to go and look and see what our digger inventory is? It'd be like we want to add an um whatever unattached unused claim to a digger, or we would want to potentially, if we end up having like the lease and rent thing happening, we might want to review the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, then we would want to have all of the claims that we have access to used and unused. So would that then become like a column? Or would it be like two lists?
Okay.
And then what can you do? Then how do we delete a claim? How do we abandon a claim? I didn't even think about that till just now. But anyway, I guess back to the matter at hand.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, yeah. I guess we would be able to sell the claim, right? Like it almost seems like you'd sell it back. Like you don't.
Yeah, right.
I guess you could abandon it. I'm not sure. I don't know what the right terminology is for that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You just don't renew the lease on it. Just kind of let it time out, I guess. Right.
Well, with the but the leases are going to be kind of like auto renewed, right? They're just going to automatically draw from your account.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. So you'd
um,
have to go in there and like stop it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I guess abandon works. I guess there should be some kind of fine if you do that, or some kind of fee, because or some expectation that you paid a certain amount on it, kind of like you would with a normal lease.
Hmm.
Um, but so it seems like we want to that we're going to need a separate command to look at them, is what it kind of boils down to.
Right. So All right, so let me think now, because now as I think of consider like how our game works, right? Like if we were to pretend like you could walk through it, would you go to the claim office to do all that, or is that just something that you have like your own? It's just part of the minor. I guess just part of the minor, right?
Yeah, it's just part of the minor because it's not. Uh,
Just like
they don't hold like the lease necessarily at the office.
yeah, okay. So that's where you would go to buy or potentially sell, I guess,
Right.
or relinquish or whatever. Okay. So once we have it, we want to be able to view it. So all right, so we're going to pull up the list, and we're going to want to decide whether or not we want to attach a digger to it, right?
No, we don't do it from there because that's why we have the control room.
Okay.
Because
But if it's
we
part of the
equip.
minor, well, but if it's part of the minor, you can look at it from any room.
Yes, you can look at the information about your, uh, like your claims, kind of at any point, but you can't.
Mhm.
You can't equip a digger based on that, right? 'Cause we have the
Well,
control room for that.
yeah, but even when you're in the equip process, you're going to have one in mind.
Right, but that wouldn't necessarily be the same list that you would see. I mean, it would probably be similar, but you wouldn't see. You'd only see the ones that are available.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of reasons why you would want to look for your claims, right? Like that's great that you can pull up a list, but like what are the reasons we would want to do that? Because you want to see either what you're paying for and surrender it, or
Mm-hmm.
attach a digger, or think about buying a digger for a specific claim. So then we have that like survey feature, right? So that has the density and hardness on there.
Mm-hmm.
So what would I want to do if I was playing the game? I'd say, oh, I got a good claim there. I'm going to buy that, and I want to put a digger on it, and I want to put an extra large hopper on it, and you know, it means you can kind of budget out what you need, I guess. So that's what I'm thinking. Like that's why you would want to look at what you got,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to be able to. So then you go in the control room, you're going to equip the digger, right?
Right.
So now at that process is going to need to incorporate. You're going to have to identify what claim, like what mine claim you want to apply to your digger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be some kind of a list of claims as well that you're going to want there. And then I guess, and then how do you pass that identity to the equip? Like these, so what would you even need to see in that list? Why would you pull it up? It's hard to say.
Well,
So
I
no,
mean, you. I mean, it definitely you need to know how much it costs you, right? I mean, that's
right.
clearly a piece of it. You want to know what you have and whether you have stuff available for putting a digger on. That's why
Mhm.
you would need the list. Just like an inventory. I mean, inventory, you don't do anything with the inventory. It's just about here's what you have. It's just a report of what you've got,
Right.
right? So it's
So
the same
that
thing for
could
the
be
claims, but
okay. So we might just have two lists of them depending for like the used and unused because you might want to see different stuff I guess on either one potentially. But
yeah, I mean, I guess it comes down. That's a good question, right? Because we're talking like we have all this history stuff that we've done that are like about how many chips have been dug and all that stuff is
mhm.
really tied to the digger at the moment because the
Yeah,
digger is like the main resource.
yeah, right. Because we're sort of applying the claim to the digger, and is that
Hmm.
really appropriate anymore? Would you swap out diggers to put on a claim? That would be weird because we have no way to like detach a digger. Like once it's put into service, you just destroy it off, like scrap it to get the bolts.
Right, but then you don't scrap the claim.
No, you don't scrap the claim, so that's going to have to pop back out.
Right. Well, in the sense of yeah.
So then would it have a sense of history to it?
That's why I'm asking the question, right? Because you're talking
Yeah.
about something. So initially, when you were talking about everything's the way that everything has been done up to this point was that the digger was a thing, and it was kind of the main thing. So all the stuff was attached to the digger as a place to keep stuff.
Right.
Any of the numbers and the history. I think we're at a point where the digger itself could have that information, but if the claim is going to survive going forward, you may want history on that claim over the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right.
especially if we want to have the potential for a claim running out. Like that may be something that
Yeah.
we may look into. Like, we have density and hardness. I mean, we may want to have size too. That might be something of like how much you expect to be able to get out of it.
Yeah, like a potential multiplier kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I feel like that right there. Now, as you point that out, I feel like that kind of seals the deal. That yeah, the claim is going to have to be its own entity with its own history. So then how let's I'm not even sure. So how do we marry those two pieces together? The digger and the claim. Because like right now the claim is clearly part, even though there is a separation, but it's really nothing's in there. It's all part of the digger as we have it.
Right. Well, yeah, which isn't. I mean, I don't think that gets us into a particularly bad state. Um, my concern right now is about what we're going to call the command. Oh, excuse me.
Right.
Because right now we call this command this thing called claims, which is really the ability of being able to list out the claims when you're in the claims office. So I feel like we should change this almost to like a list.
Right. Like listings.
Yeah, make it like that.
Yeah. So when you go into the store, you view the listings.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
All right. So then we can put on the miner, like at that top level, a claims
Yeah.
command. Did you have to change that command text somewhere? Do we already have claims being used elsewhere, or no? Are we okay?
Say that again.
No, we're okay.
Well,
Okay,
we
because
just we just changed this.
the actual command that happens is that view claim listings. So okay.
Yes. Yeah. Um, trying to find where the. There it is. Just make sure one thing here that. Right, so that's the only thing. Let me just look. I don't think. I think last week we ended up shutting down pretty quick.
That could be. So,
Yeah, this was. So we had started trying to work on how we were going to apply a claim to the digger, right? So this is kind of where that was started.
so is this all from last week's?
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to get it kind of staged or get it committed so that we can, as we work on this new stuff, I can put it into the next
Yeah.
branch here. Um, all right, so that's good. So I still changed the name for the list, but that's fine. Because in here we're going to actually want to do. Kind of want to do another one of these. Oh my god.
You're pretty yawny this evening.
Yeah, I don't really know why, to be honest with you. It's not like I haven't been able to get some sleep, so.
So now that's
Yeah, I'm trying to.
straightened out. Might want to model it more off the diggers. I'm not sure.
Off
It
the
feels like,
diggers?
oh,
I'm fine either way. I mean, they're both the same thing.
yeah, they're basically the same thing as I
Yeah,
made it.
there's nothing really different. I just need to change this to claims. Just a reminder.
Yeah, because we probably did that once already. It's all the same.
I thought this was. Oh no, it's just a list. Okay. Yeah. So the only thing that I think we're gonna run into here is we're gonna end up having some.
Now, is that still a minor inventory item? It's not, right?
No.
It's a
Why'd you
claims.
think that?
No, I don't.
Oh.
So, because it's just a name.
You would just like me to claim.
Yeah.
Here. There you go. Now you can tell.
So, and this is what we want to show.
Yes.
Right. So this is going to represent like what actually the columns that come out of that table. So yeah. So we've got the density and the hardness. Do we have that ID? Did we have a sense of ID in here, or
We
was
don't.
that not a thing? Okay, that wasn't a thing. We talked about it. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we haven't done anything for identifying it at this point.
The price.
Yep. Let's see. Density.
Hardness. And is that all that was on there?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
So this should, at the very least, get that information out for us. Now, we don't have anything else yet to add to it, so I mean, I'm assuming we'll probably have more information than just this once we get to a done state.
There it is.
There we go. All right, so now I should be able to do claims. There we go.
And there it is. So
You may want to
why
change
is the price 5 more?
No, because this was the purchase price. This is the lease price.
Ah, okay. Okay, that makes so that's like the rent. I gotcha.
Yes. Yeah, this is a different price. We just don't show. That's part of the thing with the.
No, that makes sense. The purchase price as opposed to like the monthly cost.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that we talked about putting on here, right? Is so we'd have a rent. Because I think we have that on here, right?
Yeah, we did have a price like the monthly, or at least the spot for it.
Yeah. So. Okay, stop. Oh shoot, that's not what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look
You
at
want to?
the.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, so there we go. So
So
you can
there's
see that
the
we got
red.
the 15, and then it punches it out. Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So now we have the. So we do have the information there. We don't have any sense of identity, so that we can figure out which ones are which just yet. And I guess it's a question of, do we want to do that as part of like when you buy it?
Right. Well, because we had that buy one, so that was like a menu index. But if we talk about the history thing, like we were talking about earlier, that definitely brings the identity question up. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it only really brings it up if it's a situation where we want to capture the information historically. So once we've abandoned a claim, like we want to go back and be able to look at a claim again.
Right. Okay. So like while it's alive, we don't have to worry about it as much because it'll just be in the list.
And it'll just be part of the content for that item, right? Like we would just have history as part of um,
Mm-hmm.
the claim, right? So we don't need to worry about it so much. We could worry. It could be a situation. Ooh,
Well,
depending on how often we want to do it.
yeah, and I don't think we really have to worry about like once we discard one, like being able to go back and see its history or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, there could be something where we want to capture like average amount per dig, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I feel like if we get to that point, we'll probably want a database of some kind. I guess we could write it to the file. I mean, we kind of have a database, but
Yeah, I mean, in the situation as far as like you can do averages without maintaining every single dig, right? There's a an average operator that you can do that's over time, and so it would just kind of adjust as it's changing. Now, if we want to keep track of what the average was over time, then that's a different story, right? Where it's like a true
like point in
history.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But what it is today, based on the history, can be figured out.
right, right. Without needing a whole database of every single transaction. I was trying to look at the buy claim command. So I think if we wanted to put the claim into here, I think we would want to do something similar to what we did for the claim office too, right? Because like
Okay.
as it is right now, our miner just has um, a list on it. So it doesn't, like, we would have to do something here to create that, right? Because we get, if you buy it, say there's just an add command here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking we want to create a claims leases object.
As opposed to just the list.
Yeah. So that way we can say, we during the add, we actually create the ID based on the stuff that you currently have.
Okay. Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. So let's dive into that. That shouldn't be too bad, really.
Yeah, because really we're going to just, inside of here, we will have that list.
Yeah. So that's the same list, and then you're just going to add a little like ID issuer.
Yeah. So claims lease.
Okay. So that'll allow you to get them out,
Yep.
but not manipulate the list. So that's good. So you're going to have to do that via this add function that you're putting in.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and then that's going to allow us to be able to kind of like marshal control over this whole like issuing an ID kind of thing.
Yep. Because like we could even use this to do it, right? Because this would give us the same abilities.
It's essentially what you want to do. Yeah, we're just going to let it be controlled by that object.
Right.
Cool. I like that.
So we don't, on the claims lease, we don't actually have an ID. So we'll do it the same way, I guess. So we'll just have the ID as a get and a private set.
Looks good. All right.
Yeah, and then here's where we actually add it to the list.
Okay.
So this will basically do the same thing as our other thing. Probably to make our lives easier, we should just add that ID now to this list.
Yeah, now that it exists, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, do we have to add it to like the save and everything too, or does that automatically get written in?
Add it to the save.
Like because I'm looking at the stuff that gets loaded up when you add a new game when it goes to pull in your
We haven't done anything.
Okay, we haven't done anything. All right, that's
yeah,
fine.
not even close. We haven't even figured out what the data structure is to even worry about trying to persist it anywhere.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's cool. I'm thinking about the patterns that we have for the other stuff, but yeah, we didn't even get that far. You're correct.
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's all. I got you. I'm sorry, getting ahead of us.
Yeah. So to be able to show this out, I want to do a buy on the second one.
Okay.
And then we should be able to then look at claims, and we should see it come in. Ooh, it starts at 0. Did we start at 0? Oh, well, it would help if we were actually using the claims leases on the minor object.
Right, because
yeah, so we want to change this to that.
Right, because we were just using the list object still. Yeah.
Yeah. This, I wonder if we're going to get any breaks with this. We probably will, because there should be at least one thing that's going to fail. Yeah. Okay. I feel like there's a way we can do this where this will actually operate like a list, but I don't know if it's important at this point. So we'll go
So
with
you could just like kind of call it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a way to do it. Like you can make it where it has its own iterator on it. But I think this will be fine.
Yeah, it's definitely expressive.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a warning message in there in the build.
I did not notice.
Let's do our listings. All right, so now we've got that. So if we buy 2 now, we should see it with a 1. Okay, good. So now we're getting the same identity that we can use, which is different than the one from the claims office, because that's about the actual claim listing versus the claim lease that we've got.
Right, because if you go back to the claims office, the ID should be reset, basically. Like, even if you bought, well, no.
Well, let's
Yeah,
say I
even if,
buy this one, right? This
right,
is unknown. And now we look at the claims.
and it's 1 and 2. And it's on, oh,
It's not unknown because it's unknown because we didn't pay for a survey. That's why, right? So, but once we
but
bought it, we
then
get the.
yeah, it rolls it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's. I think it was supposed to be rolled at the time. Maybe it's not. Because remember when we talked about this, we wanted to say that the claim, when it gets when the claim listing gets created, we are actually generating the claim. Like we know what it is. Like we should know what the density hardness values are of the claim. We just don't know what it is here because there's no survey that's been done.
Right. Okay, so we just don't show it until you pay for the survey.
Right.
Oh, is that? Should we show whether? I guess the unknown shows it's not surveyed.
Right. Because we have limited space to present the information, right? So that's why we keep that low, or keep it simple for right now.
All right, so that looks to be working. So now the claim office should be empty because we bought all the claims.
Yes.
No claims available. All right, cool.
Yeah, so we're good there. I think we're gonna want to. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to do the logic inside the equipping.
So we can add it instead of just creating it on the fly there.
Yeah, because that's why we actually have on the equip side we actually have two things happening, right? We were attempting to try to do anyways because the command that store. So we were trying to do on the equip command here, right? So we were going to pass in the digger name, and this is kind of where we got stuck. Well, not got stuck, but that's kind of where we stopped because it was going to take a little bit more time than we had because it was like near the end of the stream.
Right. So this is so you can actually say equip and give it a name, and it would do it in one pass.
Yeah. You know what? I need to take a quick second. I need to get some water here.
Okay.
Let me get a little bit of water. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. All back. Yeah. So this actually has a thing where we can send in the command. Now the question becomes: is do we want to be able to take? Since we have the ID on the actual claim in the list. Do we want to be able to take it as a parameter here?
Right? 'Cause that's the only identity it has. Is that ID? It doesn't have like a name.
Doesn't have a name.
No. Like in other words, the way we're able to pass a name for the digger.
Right.
So
right.
so we would pass the ID. I guess we do, right? So hang on. So we were talking about at one point having a. You know what? Let's leave that alone for now. I'm not going to go down that road. So I guess for what we're trying to do, this is where we would want to do it, right? We would want to take a third parameter.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then prompt if we don't get it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let's try and add a third parameter that would be the ID, and then we can X. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do then is if. Shoot. I don't know what this comes in as. Let's.
I think it's just an array. Might be a list, but.
Well, I mean, that's not what I'm actually as worried about.
So, okay.
What I was concerned about is like, is 0 the command or is 0 the parameter? So if we were to do equip Gym1.
What's that look like?
Yeah, so that's 2, right? So we have 2 parameters. So good. So then we can say, now we just say if count is greater than or equal to 1. All right, use that, and then if user command parameters dot count is greater than or equal to 2, and then we can take in, then command can have
The
claim lease ID.
That'll be that last parameter. Okay.
Right, so I think you're going to actually want to convert this. Let's do if int dot try parse.
Right.
So I want to take this and then have this out into ID.
Oop. Right.
And then we just make this the
This ID.
Yeah. Why are you not cleaning that up? Come on.
It's because you're getting the red squiggly on that guy.
Maybe. All right, so. All right, so now this at least gives us. So now we have that.
Mm-hmm.
What did I hit? Oh, I don't want to run. Oh, I actually did put it in there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so now we can get both of those, and we have access to them.
Yeah, so this is where. So this is why we. All right, so. Yeah. We need to make this a little more. We need to be able to take a little bit more with it, right? Because.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the part that I'm thinking about here, right, is sometimes we want the ID, and other times we don't. right? Because the claim office may not be defined yet. So I guess we can still take it in, right? So if we just say if command claim lease ID is greater than 0, we'll make this equal to enter claim lease ID. And then, yes, and then here we can still pass in the shoot.
Wait a minute. What is that?
Well, we need to be able to get this as the next step that has to happen. Maybe we don't even do this here. Let's I'm wondering if we just ignore this and we don't actually do any of this here. And we
You just have to do it right. Kind of.
No. So we have a game state that we're going to have to push on, right? A game scene that we're going to have to push on.
Right, and that's all those extra questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that why we have to do that whole extra scene, is to gather those, to kind of run those extra questions through? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's one way of looking at it. I wasn't looking at it that way. Like, game scenes do more than just that, but that's what we're using it for.
But that's what we're using this for, is to accomplish that.
Yes. So we need to be able to kind of... So what we can do is we can make the scene handle that check and define where it needs to go to next. So it can handle the flow. Versus us trying to do some of it here and then some of it in the scene.
Right, because we do have the scene, so we can take care of the rest of that in there.
Right.
Okay. Okay, right. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and so I think we can take this out of here too. And we can just take the command and we can enter in the
digger name and the lease ID, right? Will be the stuff we want to pass in, so.
Yeah. So then we can come over here because this is...
Right, so you can add the ID as well there.
Yeah.
So now if we don't have it, we can collect it.
Yes. All right, so now we can do that. Oh, we actually had this one we can use for that. And then this we still need to capture.
So you already had that up there, huh?
Yeah. Well, we knew we were going to need it, but we weren't taking it initially on as part of the incoming values. So this does its piece. Yeah, so this is where we can actually do the check on this. Yeah, so I'm wondering if this is the right. I'm wondering if this is the way we should set this. So right now we've got two bools to identify where it is in the state in the check, but I think we know what order we're going to do it. What I'm thinking of doing is adding an enumerator. So we can have something that would be just like equip. Right, and then we can say like asking digger name, asking claim ID. Right.
Because they're going to be linear.
Yes.
Because you can't get to the claim without identifying a digger. Okay.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. So then we don't really need these. And we can do a thing here that says starting. There, we'll add that as the state, right? So then we can just have piece here. That's the handler state.
Are you going to have a complete of some sort, or is that just going to be a combination of, or just being done everything?
I don't think we need a complete because there's not like a state that we go to complete and then it has to do something the next iteration, right? This is
Right,
all
it's
like
just over.
Yeah. So like in this case here, we want to be able to come in and say, okay, first step when we sorry, this is not. So when we come into the update frame, because we're going to come into the update first, we're going to have I'm going to say if the state is equal to starting, then we can check to see if the digger name maybe we just check to see if it's null or empty, right?
Okay.
So this way we can check to see if it's set. If it is, then we can just say, so if it is null or empty, now we can set the state to
The
asking digger name.
Yep.
And then we got to put the prompt of, oh, I deleted all that.
You can make it up. Wasn't all that great anyway, I don't think.
I know, but I'm trying to not break it.
Yeah.
Right. Really? I can't copy that? Okay, enter digger name.
It wouldn't let you hover it? Like highlight it? Oh, that's crazy.
It was a little weird. Prompt text equals. It wasn't get, was it? Oh, enter. That's what I was enter. Like. Right, so then if we do that there, then we can just come in here. We just actually return out of this.
Right.
Now, but if it is in starting state, and we actually do have a digger name, then we need to do the digger name check.
Right, that checks and sees if there's already one with that name.
Yeah, so now we have to do this. I think I am going to
so that's the hyphen stuff.
Yeah, I want to add a method that does that. I'm going to say, we'll call it clean digger name. And then we just return that.
Okay.
All right, good. Actually, maybe instead of clean, we'll just say, we'll call it format. And then this is another thing that we need to do. Let's just do it as like, I'm going to just kind of real quickly put it in here. So we're going to say if
Trying to figure out what you
digger
need to know.
yeah. Let's say digger with name exists, and then we can do the format digger name. Digger name.
Mm-hmm. Then you want to say you need to pick another name.
Yeah.
And really you want to.
What?
Nothing.
What do I really want to do?
No, because we have to ask again too to enter the digger name. But I think that's going to happen.
Oh, so it's so if this happens, let me put this in here first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then we need to do this.
Okay.
Yeah. So we say starting, we've gotten past this where we actually, so at this point on this line here, we've got a digger name that's ready to go that we can actually use.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, we could actually do this equip digger. What we need is a way to know. So this actually should work then, because this will now build a site, right, through our fake,
Right.
by the default stuff. And this should then do the piece for that. Okay. Well, let's just get the name working first, I guess, right? So we won't put it this way. We should say if state. Nope. So if we're in the asking digger name state, this is what we're going to get. So we're going to get this back. Say, hey, got to enter a name. I'm wondering if we should we? Do you think we should add this down here when it comes in? If it comes in without a name,
It sort of makes sense, right?
it feels like it would. It feels extra because we weren't doing it before, but it feels like it's necessary if you just enter it without one.
Right. And
Right?
that's what we'd be doing at this point now.
Yeah.
So
So
that first one, yeah, and then the second one is the prompt for the digger name.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we had this claims available piece, right? This was so we could test it. So if a claim isn't available, then we won't even ask for it. We'll just equip a new digger without that. Right? In this case, we're going to say if claims is available and the state is equal to equip handler state this, right? And then we'll do the show claims and to get the claim ID.
Right.
We need to get
Right.
to this state. So we can actually change this now. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
No. I want to see what you're.
I was going to say we can get rid of this. And we can do okay, digger with name exists, and then we want to do the formatted digger name from the.
Okay. That's coming in, yeah, on the command.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we put our last in there. Yeah. So then that'll give us that piece. It'll do that. If otherwise, it's going to come down here, and we're actually going to set the digger name equal to. So that does mean what I realize now is that we missed it here, right? So if this doesn't exist, then actually we want to set that digger name, the formatted digger name. Right.
Okay.
So then, because in here we actually use that. We use that value here to set it. So we need to make sure it's set properly. I mean, unless we change this to actually take it as a parameter. I mean, either is fine.
Oh, it's fine. I'll leave it that way.
Yeah, I think we can leave it that way. So this is interesting because now we can actually do this. This was in here just as a test so we can make sure that it was actually getting to this method the way it was supposed to. Let's see.
So you have that elsewhere though. So you should pretty much be able to take that almost wholesale.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that will be. Oh, you know what? So this here is going to happen. We actually need to have one stop in here, I think, that we actually say if state is not equal to.
Is that going to be? So that's the last step, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, because what I'm trying to do here, right? So this is only going to be set if they're at a point where they are ready to be able to get claims, right? This is like assuming that we're going to start the game where you don't have the ability to get claims. You're just going to get whatever they randomly generate for you.
Right. So it's the old kind of digger kind of thing where you just get it when you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you're going to get to a point where you can do it. Because we only need to do this if this its claims available. So
it's even on, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so and that's why we kind of want to let this fall through. So it could come in here, it says asking digger name, come in here, get to this point, then check this, and if this is false, then we can
drop
just
right through.
Then we can just create it and do our thing.
Otherwise, we have to collect the rest of it and create our whole logic around applying the claim. Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, so what I was thinking is here we could then just do, do this prompt. Right, because this doesn't need to happen down here now. But we do need to set this. So it's not, we'll set it to asking for the claim.
And then we'll ask for it.
Yep, and then we'll ask for it. So then it'll go into that waiting state for them to do their typing. Once they hit enter, it'll come back in here, it'll skip this step, it'll come back into here, and then it'll continue on with the code down here. Right, which...
And that's where we're going to apply it at some point.
Right, so now we have to say, now we say if claim with ID exists, and then we got to take the command text that comes back and check it.
Right. Because that's now they've entered the
Yeah.
ID. So check what comes in.
Same with ID. How about does not exist? In this case, we want to do the reverse, right? Because we want to be able to say something like,
All right. So this is going to kind of guard us from it, as opposed to.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That makes sense because that's the way that the whole thing's kind of been flowing through.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's do. I guess we'll say claim lease with ID does not exist. And then we can just do a return.
And now we got to do that.
Yeah. So shoot, this way I want this to be an integer, not the command text, and I want this to be claim lease
Claim
ID.
ID.
Right. So
ID, yes.
then we need to be able to do from the game state on the miner the claim leases dot as ID.
There you go.
Right. This we actually wanted to check for the falseness of that. And then we just do, let's see, we'll return the claim leases. No, claim leases. Right. Yep.
Yeah, what's up? Huh?
It is not a delegate type. Wait, what?
Whoa. Why? Do you have to do like not any for that to work right?
Well,
It would be any, and then you could not it, or all not equal. I think all not equal, is that what they prefer?
oh no, this would actually be an any.
Right, because it's a positive. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Maybe you can't do the contains that way.
Yeah, I think that was an old way that they were doing it, so it's still stuck in my head. I feel like there was an override for the contains at some point that allowed you to actually do it that way. I guess not anymore. I always forget that. Sometimes I just forget what the new stuff is that they have for it. So that's one of them.
Yeah, that's part of having been doing this for a while.
Yeah, right. I guess we need to do something here. We'll just I want to do a try parse on this.
Oh, because you want to pass at the end?
Yeah. I think I need to put in here just something like what they entered and say that it's invalid.
Right. And then that'll say enter claim ID again. So good.
Yeah. Yep.
Claim lease does not exist. Then that'll say enter claim ID again. Good.
Yep. And then here, we should now then be able to actually get the claim. From the miner. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we should be able to do the equip digger.
Just stick it on there. Not quite, huh?
Nope, because.
Oh, because it's. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that should do that. Now the only thing, do we have a way to get out of here if we don't have a, like, say we get into here and for some reason we don't have a claim? Like, remember we got stuck in the infinite loop on the other menu?
Yep. Yeah, we definitely run into the same thing here. Yeah. I almost feel like we should do that test up here.
Yeah, but you don't know which path you went down. Maybe you should reset it every time you get to a new spot. That'd be crazy though.
I'm sorry, say that again?
No, I was just trying to think, like, because there's different, well, so you can enter.
No, if you get into here where claims you need to be using claims, it's just the check right here, and be like, we can just say,
like if you fail this 3 times, then you just exit the whole routine.
well, we don't. No, I think what I was getting at, Pete, was more the fact that the only reason we would need to get out of here is if there's no claims that are available to be assigned.
Right. Or you
Right?
change your mind for some reason. But yeah.
If you change your mind, yes.
Like, so
you want to be able to just hit enter 3 times to get past it, so you skip it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, no. All right. So barring that, if it was just that there was none, then we shouldn't have got in there in the first place. Right? We should have something to not allow us to even get that far if we have no claims.
We have no claims. We shouldn't have gotten. Well,
that made sense once you thought it through. What I was saying.
I know. I don't like the code for it. I'm trying to think of how to not duplicate it, because like what you're saying makes sense, right? So you're saying we should have it as soon as they enter the command. We just say, "Get out of here. You don't have anything to do it," right?
Right, because it's going to fail.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. So
you have that there's that piece that tells us whether or not we care, right?
yes.
Because that is also twined in here, right?
Yes. That's what I'm trying to identify for the branching on this, right? Because really in here we want to say, you know, honestly here we want to say has diggers and has claims, right? So,
right,
or if either of those are not true.
Well, that has claims. It's like, and because there was an option that not has claims. So you definitely need a digger. So you have to have has diggers, and either has claims or doesn't need claims, because there was that other option that allows us to just do it because you haven't like unlocked it yet or whatever.
Right. So maybe we just say miner can equip.
There you go, and then we can wrap that logic in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miner cannot equip. Because then we can just do game.writeLine. You can't do this at this time. What we actually need to do is do this.
Yeah.
And then it's going to say if
So yeah, and that's going to be the one if you have diggers at all. So miner cannot equal. So it would be diggers equals 0, kind of thing.
yeah, it's not that simple. If miner does not have diggers or miner let's see, miner can miner does not
Mm-hmm.
like that. Right, so then I can just return that.
So if miner does not have diggers or miner does not have required claims, and then the miner does not have required claims is the one that will deal with the two-parter. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can then do, because if this is not that, or um,
Mm-hmm.
was that a throw?
So miner does not have required claims.
Yeah, so either claims are not required, claims are not available yet, or they have claim, the miner has claim leases that are available. Oh, not available. Wait,
Yeah, I don't understand how that.
yeah, this is backwards. So this needs to be,
Okay.
there we go, like that.
Right. Yes, that makes more sense. Okay. I was having trouble working that logic out. I was like, how's that work with the or? Okay.
Yeah, I was doing the opposite of this. I was doing this does have. Yeah. So for right now, we'll just mark this as return true. Because on here we don't have anything actually at the moment to identify.
That's fine, though. We can backfill that code.
Yeah.
Let me go to write the tests. When we do the negative test and it fails, we'll fix it.
Yeah, right. All right. All right, I think this is good, right? So this should work without. Oh, hold on a second. Something I just noticed that I didn't do. So we're not actually using the claim lease ID.
Oh, do we not actually do anything with it?
Because what we did here, right? So we didn't even check here to see if it's required, right? So we have we need to do a thing here. It says if claims are available. And then we have to say if is greater than 0. Actually, no. Let's say it's less than or equal to 0.
Okay.
Then this now needs the state to be ask for lease ID. And then we need to
And then that's the lease ID, right?
Yeah. That's the. All right, so we just have claim ID.
Okay.
And now if claim license is available and it's greater than that,
then we do it.
yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pre-build it, and then we can throw it out if we don't need it. So here, because now we're going to have the claim, so now we need to do the same logic that we did up here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we'll just make it like that. So now we'll just set the claim there.
And then let it fall through.
Yep.
And then it'll always do that if you get this. Okay, cool.
So right now the
didn't like that ID there. What's up with that?
copy and paste will get you.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
So I go to the store. I gotta buy diggers. I don't even need to buy the claim because we don't have claims at this point. So now I should be able to just do equip. Oh, I don't need that breakpoint anymore. Ooh, no diggers. What? Oh.
You didn't actually get the digger, huh? Because you didn't do standard diggers.
Yeah.
I got to test that logic.
Yeah, right. Alright, so I got the names required. So I created one there, so I should now be able to do this too. Whoa! Oh, so it already exists.
All right, good.
Alright, so then Jim got added. Just by doing equip Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Alright, that shouldn't make a difference because...
Because it's not on, right?
Yeah, right, it's not on. Alright, so that seemed to work. Let's try doing it with it turned on.
Yeah, we should be able to just flip that switch, right? There you go. Took true.
What's that?
It had that K, and there was a took true.
Yeah, right.
However you would say that. All right.
I can't buy 5 now. Alright, so now I need to go to the claims office. Alright, so now I should be able to check my claims. I got one there. Now I should go to the control room. Alright, should it... we'll try the next one. So I should then be able to do equip, and then I can put in a name, and then I can give it an ID. The ID's popped up. And now I got a normal density, hardness, hardness.
Hardness.
Cool. So now,
So see if it took it out. Well, it doesn't matter. We didn't do that part yet.
well, it shouldn't actually take it out. That's part of the thing, right?
Yeah, it should just now be different.
It shouldn't.
It's applied now.
Yeah, it's applied exactly.
All right, but that worked.
Yeah. So it went through the list there. I guess I can actually go back to the claims office. I should be able to buy 2. And so now I should be able to equip it by doing like this. Let me look at the claims first, right? So it should be 2. Okay. Now I should be able to do equip like that. And it just gives me the item with it. Cool.
Yeah, technically you could still do 1 right now, right? Because it didn't take it out or anything. It'll still do it.
Yeah, I guess technically it would keep doing it.
Yeah. Okay, but it worked.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big win. Now I think we do need to make sure we need to give a state to the claim lease. Just not sure how we want to do that. That's what I'm not.
Yeah, like what does this mean?
Yeah, I mean we could do something simple. We can just do in use.
So we could even attach a digger ID. We have it at the time that it all happens.
I don't think we...
Or name. It's a name. It's not an ID. It's a name, but...
could try doing that. I'll tell you, there's part of me that's cringing at it, but I don't know why.
About just having it, like I don't know that it has to take place of the in use, but I guess it could.
Well, I mean, it's the if it's not in use, the name will be null or empty.
Yeah, so you can use it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could even just put something on here that just says
Yeah, right. There you go. So you don't have to use the the memory space, so to speak.
yeah. Well, I mean, it makes it so that you're not having to remember to set it, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, wonder if I can just put in here. Wonder if I should just do digger. Oh, it's chip digger. And this way I can set.
Just give it the whole thing.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, because then in future, however we end up doing this, we may be able to put the digger on here, and you know what I mean. Like we could actually do more with it.
Hmm.
Gives us less have that requirement. I'm just not certain I want to. This creates this dependency there that I'm kind of like unsure of. Um, so now we can make this where we can actually say. Um, actually, I guess we should do
Yeah,
it
we
like
can
this.
see if it's used or not.
Hmm.
Wait a minute. That's the wrong way.
Yeah. Nope. I think this needs to be an any. So it's
Any not
any
in
that's
use.
not in use. So the next piece here is like looking at this. We have the has ID, so we can say that the ID exists. Um, I'm trying to think if we should just add to. Uh,
What? Elaborate. What do you mean? Like what?
well, so we could actually this right now we check to see if the ID exists,
Hmm.
right? But what if it's already assigned to something? You could still use the same ID multiple times, right?
Mm.
So we would want to be able to eliminate that. Um, so this needs either another check for um, in use. I was trying to debate on whether what I wanted to do is here like this or check it after the fact. Let's maybe try doing it after the fact. Let's see, because we have the in use on the item. So we should be able to.
Where is it?
When we get this here, be able to do like an if. Then we can throw the error message. Lease with. Oh, I guess I could just leave that in there. Doesn't matter. I just need to do the same thing down here.
Yeah, I was going to say that ID is not the same.
Yep. So
All
I
right.
think. What's that?
No, that looks like it will handle that.
I believe so.
So do we have the in use showing when we pull them up? We don't, do we? Like when we look at our leases. Interesting.
Why? What's up? No, we do not. We haven't done
So,
any of the code for that. We have to go and we have
yeah,
to
so
add it to
we'll have
all
to
the
put that
spots
in.
where we report the list. We actually have to go and add that to it. It doesn't just pick it up because we added it to the object.
Yeah, we did. I'm saying we hadn't added that in, yeah. So we have to go and actually write that into the table rights. But we have to go write that into the table rights so we can see.
I guess it'll be fine. So that works. I shouldn't be able to do it again.
That. But it did.
But it did.
So that didn't work.
But it did. But it did. Why would it, Pete?
I don't know, man. Let me see. Oh.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, because of the name.
Because it worked, yeah. Oh, it still worked. Why is it working? Are we not setting? Yeah.
So we're getting this.
So claims lease in use equals false.
It's because we didn't actually tell it that it's in use. Right? This is an interesting
But wasn't that just a matter of having a name or not?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the problem was, so now we've created this digger here. We never went back and told the claim lease that it was in use. So so this kind of exposed an interesting issue that we have, right? If the I'm trying to think of how to describe this problem, right? So when we don't have the claims available, we're able to create a claim automatically, but we don't actually create a claim lease. So there's no claim lease that's on the miner for this claim that we've added. So I think we actually need to create the claim lease for it, right? So, because all we were doing was this little jammer, right? But we don't have a claim lease. So what happens when claim leases do become available? They're going to have these mine claims without any leases.
Okay.
Right? So I think we need to actually create a claim lease when they do it. I guess is what I'm getting at.
But do you feel like that's what led us to be able to do what we did?
Led us to be able to do what we
To be
did.
able to assign a claim to two different diggers? Because that was
I
the error that we had. I think that's
Yes.
what this.
So it's not that, it's just where to do it at, right? So here's the problem, right? So we're passing in this claim,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we don't have a digger yet.
Right.
So now we're passing this in, we're telling it, okay, create this thing. Now we have a digger in here, but we only have a mine claim. So there's no way to now come back and say, hey, this is
So we
the thing.
can't add it there. Right.
Right. And then we have to have some extra logic. So we could do the thing here where we return a chip digger, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then we can, at the end of this, we can actually return
The digger, yeah.
the new digger. No, you don't want to give it to me? Thanks. Like, really? I don't know if you need to do that. So then here we can get the digger, and then now we have to go back to. Now we have to come in here. We have to say if claims available. Then we can do.
And stick the digger on.
Yeah, and then I gotta get this again. And then I gotta do. Now I can say. Assign digger, and then I can put the digger in here. And then I gotta do this again for up top.
Yeah, so that is a refactor and a waiting to happen right there. Because we're doing something funky.
Yeah, I mean here it's not as bad. So maybe that's the answer to this. So maybe we do leave it like that, and then we do the equip digger, but we. All right, so it's just a matter of where the duplication happens, right? Is what we're going to end up having to deal with, because we can get rid of that, but then we have to copy this, and then we put this here. We get rid of that. We don't need this information. We don't need this information. We don't need that. And then we can actually just do that. And this we don't care. Whoa. This one we don't care about. Yeah. And then I gotta do it one more time up here. So, but the difference here is that there's already two separate statements for doing it. In which then we can actually get rid of this.
Right, because you don't need to do it that way.
No, because then we can just do this and then a return.
Yeah.
And then.
Right. And then that'll spit out the digger. Put it back on there. Pop the scene.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah.
It's still in two places, but it's a lot neater.
It is. It is. That's why I'm like. I'll tell you the other why this also jumps out to me is that as soon as the claims become available, or the claim leases become available for the user, we're now going to have a bunch of claims with no claim leases. That's part of the reason why I was thinking that the claim lease may make sense that we create one at the time when when they don't have the leases yet. They'll have the leases will just be free, right? It just won't cost them anything.
Just so that they're there for us, you mean? Like so that it's built out?
Yeah, because the diggers need to be assigned to them. That's kind of why I was like, this could be cleaned up if we just say, well, we'll have a digger lease. It'll just be, create a standard digger lease, or
Right.
a free digger lease, and then that, or a claims lease, and then that will give us a thing, and we can apply the claim and everything to it. That's
That
why.
would unify all that, yeah. Got 8 minutes.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, let's make sure that even works.
what we just did.
Yeah, because it should work for this the conditions that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, because right now it's just on, right? Because we turn true on for
yes.
the claims. All right.
All right, control room. Now we can do an equip. So I should be able to just even do that. And
That's
then
a
it should ask me for the
promise.
claim ID. Oh, but it didn't show the claims.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to pop.
We didn't do it in this one.
Hmm.
Right, so
There you go.
I think we need to do it like that. On both those. Well, all right. My name is No. Short for Noah. There we go. So now it shows up. We can buy that. So now if I try to equip Sam with one. Claim lease with
Already
one
in
is
use. I
already in
like it.
use. And then it's asking me for the next one, right? So now I can do that one. So now technically both of them are in use. So now I shouldn't even be able to equip another one.
Right, because it should kick us right out and say, you lose, sir.
You cannot do this
Can't.
at this time.
And we stay right. Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah, so that keeps us out of that noise. The only yeah. All right, good.
Yeah. So that works. So we have the claim leases stuff you were talking about. And then once all that's working, we really need to kind of go and backfill and do the like the stuff that's going to replenish the claims store, the stuff that's going to turn it on in the first place, whatever that reward setup's going to be. So
Yeah.
interesting stuff awaits.
Yeah, because we're gonna need something in there for that. Do we have? Let's see.
So add a claim office to the game.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, so the claims don't have. All right, they do have the stats. New claim options. Generate new claim options. What is that? Is that just the commands?
No. That's like new claims, like the thing that replenishes the supply of availability for it.
All right. Start with free claims. We pretty much implemented, but we didn't have a way to turn it on.
Yeah, we actually. So, I mean, we still have to. I think we still need to talk about that a little bit because we actually don't have free claims. We have no claims. We just have mine sites, like claim.
Right. That's
So,
true. They're not really okay. Okay.
Let's see. I want to add a new one. Ugh. Jeez. All right, I want to add a new one for the ability to turn on functionality in game. Ability to have progress. Add functionality to game. So we need something that turns on functionality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, this is going to be like achievements can do it or whatever. However we want to trigger that capability. That's the question for that one. But we're getting pretty good. So I want to put this one.
Yeah, so we're getting there.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was a way to put this as like in progress. I guess not. There's no. It's just open.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so making some progress here. That's good.
Yeah, I think we are about wrapped up at this point.
Yeah, well, it's just good. I like it when we move stuff forward. You know, it was it's good that like we spent an awful lot of time doing like unit tests and things, right? Whereas this we actually got to put the game. We added some stuff to it. So
Yeah, and there's stuff with adding. I mean, we still need to add unit tests. I mean, look at this. Like this whole thing has white in here.
Oh
like
yeah.
there's
No.
no test for this.
We need to go back and do it. We just were having like a few streams there for a while. Was all we were doing. So it was cool to get back for a couple and you know, play the game a little, add some stuff to it.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some real progress with the capability in the game. So I think we're gonna see some better stuff. All right.
So next stream is on Friday, where we'll be working on getting the little guy walking around our streams. Right? Isn't that what's next on tap?
That is the next thing that's on tap.
All
yeah.
right.
Very nice. All right, Pete. Well, you have a good night.
You too, sir. You too. I'll talk to you on Friday.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Good night, all.
Night.